Hello, this is Brian, and this is more Good Badger video documentation. This is more of a dive into tasks next, and it will be a little rambly. It's just how I talk, but eventually this will get replaced by more polished videos, probably, or at least some text. But excuse me, right now this is just quicker for me to do. So unfortunately, you got to listen to me talk for a few minutes. So in Good Badgers, there's lists and tasks, sort of like a to-do list. I mean, a to-do is kind of a to-do, but like separately, they are more disentangled from each other than regular to-do lists, and that the same tasks can appear in multiple lists depending on the criteria of each. So I created in the sort of getting started. Welcome to Good Badgers video, the account that I'm using here, where these are the sample tasks. There's a few different places you can create a task. You can click this Add a Task button, open the little form on the main page. You can cancel out of that. I also, because I just have a plus as a convention in each of these windows, I have it. You can sort of pop it open in there as well. And then also, it's like 5 different places. So if I'm in the tasks view and I want to create a task, I can click the button here. Now this one and the views from the home page don't have any options preset. They're just, well, actually that's not true, I guess. It's available for all months of the year and every day of the week. But for example, if you have stuff that is for the weekend, say, and there's nothing here, and you want to add one for that, in the things to do, the little banner here, if you click the plus, you can add it, and it will pre-populate with whatever options you had for the list. So that won't tie it to the list. It won't like link it to the list, but it will, or restrict it to the list. It will make it so it will definitely appear in the list because it uses the same days of week, months of year tag category that the list does. That this task can still appear on other lists depending on the criteria, but this is just to sort of prevent having to remember what day. And when I was developing it, I would do that a bunch where I would add a task through one of the other buttons, and then I'd miss a day or something, and it wouldn't appear, and I think it was broken. And it wasn't. It was working. It just wasn't pre-populating properly. So for what I'm thinking for this weekend, I don't know, go out and touch grass. It's mostly a reference to my son who says that occasionally to me. And then I want to say, so this is a task in the list view. I'm just going to, without any restrictions, I'm just going to add that. So it doesn't immediately show up. That's because the list is cached daily, which I'll get into the list video, but it's just to keep things reasonably stable per day. But you can force it to refresh by hitting refresh list. And why didn't that appear? That's interesting. Did I not? Oh, hold on a second. That's weird because that should have touched. Oh, that didn't get added for some reason. Interesting. Okay, that didn't get added. I must hit the wrong button. Huh. Let me try that again. This is in development. So I hit this. It is go out and touch grass. Where is that? Be done on Sundays in. Oh, okay. That's why. Ha! See, it's working, but I forgot the functions I built. So in this weekend one, it's looking for January 7th, January 8th, which is next Sunday, but it's Saturday as I record this. So if I were to, I can change that task directly, but I'll actually, let's see, days of the week should be Saturday and Sunday. And then will that just show automatically? No, it won't. So then the task, interesting, why is that touch go out? Okay, so there is a bug here. This should be showing up anyway, but if I go, hold on a second. This is why people uh, helping me and testing it will give some feedback. That's the trade-off. This is free and hopefully helpful, but also let me know when things break like this. It's going to be done on Sundays. This should be definitely showing up on the list of tasks. I'm not sure why it's not actually. That's a good thing to write that down. But if I go Saturday, and then I'm going to go back to this weekend list, I think. And if I hit refresh, huh? Well, that's just crazy. Weekend fun, days of the week. Why is that not? Oh, you know what? I bet there's no month set. Ah, that's why. because, oh, okay. This is a problem with my dummy data. I have to add the months, so I'm going to put the December in because if you don't have a month selected, it will not show up at all. Like you have to. So what I'm doing here is really hacky, but this is just a little autocomplete suggestion. And then so I don't have, say, Sunday's in, so it doesn't have. By the time you see this video, I will have fixed the dummy data, so that'll be fine. But for right now, if I go December, and I'll put January just because tomorrow. Actually, no, January we needed. So if I go to task, there we go. So it wasn't showing up on that list because it didn't have a month selected. So that's a bug also. But like I said, I have a very long list of bugs. But so goat and touch grass, that's there. So I'm gonna do this again so you can see what I mean. So if I hit refresh list, now it shows up. So that breaks the cache. I will not cut any of that out because I want to see the sort of warts and all thing, or want people to see the warts and all thing. So if I'm adding, I want to say, let's see, come in from touching grass. I don't know why I capitalized like that. And so this is set to, what is this set to do? Get out of the way. Just show one result. So I'm actually going to show all. I'll get into more of those options in the list video. I am kind of confusing things, I realized, by using it in the list, but I'm just doing that to illustrate things. So if I refresh, so it has 2 now, and then the order will change. So there you go. So that works. I'm good. Anyway, so the tasks, here you can just filter by active and completed and category. And the categories aren't necessary. It's just an extra layer of targeting. So if you have a task that doesn't have a category, it would show up in searches that also don't have, or I think if the list doesn't look for a category, it'll show tasks even if they're not irrespective of the category. And then I have a little date breakdown here, and you can search for them. So what you can do here is, this is incomplete, so I'll say all tasks, and then I'm going to put grass instead of a weird one. And if I hit enter on that, it updates the URL bar here. So I can copy and then just reload the page, and it has the searching. And so this is showing today, something has today and the next day, so Saturday and Sunday, and then later it doesn't have that. There's some duplicates, like it says goat and touch grass, because it matches in both criteria or in both situations, so Saturday and Sunday. But it feels a little weird to me, so I haven't decided what I want to do. So let me know what you think. If it's multiple days in this kind of next up view, if it matches our criteria, whether or not it should like appear in both or just show in one, because I feel like that's not ideal in either case, but who knows. Anyway, so you can bookmark this and everything. So if I'm just adding a task, I can just something I'd otherwise forget here, and then I can have the size of it, and this eventually would be in a filter for the list for some intelligence for querying, but right now it's just more like a categorization. So if you say this is a very large task, like eventually my intent for here is to say, like for a chore list, if I have a like sweeping or doing the dishes, a small one, that if it's like cleaning up behind the fridge, maybe I put that as a medium. If it's like, washing the carpets every couple months, that might be a large or very large, or spring cleaning or something like that. Or I say like spring cleaning once a year, very large task, and then I could say show me one very large task and 1 or 2 small tasks or something. It doesn't do that currently, but that's one of the main things, or one of the many things on my list. So I have category specific options here, none of which are there because there's no category. But I think the only one I actually have for that right now is food. And so these are just custom options. So, and I'll build that out as I come across the needs for myself. But if you have any suggestions for all of this, I would love feedback at any level. So I can set the expiry date if this is food, say to eat. I'll say that's small because whatever. And I can put a description goes here. And then I can put the time. So I'm going to say if it can expire in like, I don't know, exactly January 6th. And I can say where. I have some suggestions here. I'm sure I'll add more over time. Again, let me know if you think there's an obvious one I'm missing. And then I can say if it's perishable or shelf stable. And then that gets shown differently in the email reminders and in the list view, based on if you're looking at like a list that has a food category. And then it would be the same if there's like other ones like Oh, people. That's right. I do have one more. People. So I have a bunch here where I have additional biographical information about how you met, the connection, phone, email, blah, blah, blah. And that at some point will get propagated to the emails. Right now, the email reminders are the only ones that are differentiation on the food category, pardon me. So food shows the reminders for food shows it broken down by um, the categories. Oh, like perishable and shelf stable. So it'll say like, perishable, shelf stable, other, or something, or food with an expiration date, uh, perishable, and then shelf stable. And so you can set an emoji here. This is just, really just for fun. Because if I do this and I think that's a mango. Um, and I hit that, then it'll just show up. I can show you in a second where that goes. Tags here are fun. So I use monthly in a different thing for the goals. So that just is an autofill tag, like it just remembers. But I will just say like, I don't know, yummy or something. And I can do multiple tags. So I can say, that kind of deal. Mine maybe. And then those will show up in the list as options the next time. The days of the week, which I guess I just clumsily went over, but you can sort of say like, this doesn't make as much sense for the food, but if it's just like well, I guess if you had like you packing your son's lunch for school or something, and your child's school lunch, you could say, you could make it only be suggested Monday to Friday to get some variety in their food, and then the specific month. So if I want it, I guess along with the school thing, the only one you would put would be just get rid of those. So this would be like the school year. Then you can also specify the frequency, and what that does is control how often it gets suggested. So initially there's no limit, that's the default, and you can say one time every day, or you can, one time every 4 days, or whatever. And so then it will only show it that often. So if you click that you've eaten the food or done the task or whatever, it'll disappear from view if you've satisfied this criteria. It's a very clinical way of saying it, but then you can do weeks, month, years, and then you can just have it like one time ever as well. And I use this for the vacuuming chore, where I have it like once every 3 days, rather because I don't actually have it. I could do 2 times every 1 week, but that would allow it would show the vacuuming right away. So I haven't had that logic. So right now it's one time every 3 days. And again, this is very rambly, and I realize this is very rambly, but it's quicker than me typing this up, I guess. And then you can snooze things. So if I'm just going to save this and I'll show you what I mean. So where's the icon here? Oh, right, because it's filtered for grass. Um, there. So the emoji is right here, but something I otherwise forget to eat. And it expires in 6 days. It's perishable, shelf stable. So if I look at it, so it gives a much longer view of what can be done, and it can be eaten one time every 4 months. And then if I had, just to show you what I mean about the different categories, this isn't really, again, crossing the streams here. But I'm just going to put food with no other, well, every day of the week, and then every month of the year. And then this should, if I refresh it. Oh no, why didn't that, what did I do there? Oh, I think because I'm jumping ahead, but I'm gonna do this and then beginning and see if that does a thing. Why is that not? What did I do for the? Okay. December, Monday to Thursday. Oh, because it's Saturday. That's why. Because I set it for lunch. So this happens to me occasionally where I do this and then it actually works perfectly and I forget some of the options. So I might loosen some of those restrictions over time because it's leading me to do hilariously embarrassing things like this. So if I refresh this now, January 1st, what day of the week is this on? Sunday, Friday, December, one day. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the offset of the month then. Oh, and then this should be one. I think some of my test data I need to update. Oh, there we go. I had to adjust the range of 1 day. I don't have that in the default. Again, that'll be fixed by the time you see this video. And so then it shows up here and it says foods to eat. Oh, if I remove the, sorry, see, I try to plan this and then I don't plan it. There we go. So this shows it under expiring and shelf stable if it's not in a highlight thing. So there's a whole bunch of options here. But then back to tasks. So like if you want to not, you can set the months that it's available in, but one frequent thing would be if you are saying, oh, next year or next period of time, I'm going to do this for next September, like kayaking. So if it were now, you know, say September, I think, ooh, I want to kayak. And I imagine that I might kayak in September, but like next September, but I know that I won't kayak this September. If I add like a kayaking, and I say, here's an activity, let's say fitness, I guess. And I'll leave it every day of the week. And I'll say, oh, okay, well, it's, for the purposes of this, I will imagine December is a kayaking month, which obviously it is, totally is. And I will just say, I'll leave those months in. You know, and I will say, well, actually, I don't need that because I'm not going to look at the list. And I say, you know, I don't know, you know, once a week or something, which is optimistic. But so then if I say like I want to look at fitness stuff, it says go kayaking, but it shouldn't show me this yet. If it was in a list, I can say, well, okay, what I'm going to do is actually I'm gonna snooze this, so I can hit day, week, and month or year, so I can just sort of snooze ahead, and I say don't even put this on the list, even if it's available, just snooze it until Sunday, January 22nd. And that's saved. You can also set it when you create the item. You can put it here, and you can just do the same kind of toggle. Little button cancels the snooze. And then the last category is consumable. And so that's something for if it's, you know, used. So going back to the, I guess I'll just call this mangoes. Imagine this is a mango, and then there's no limit to how often I can eat it because I could eat like 3 in a day, but I only have a certain number. So I'm going to say these would also work for, as I say, food or cleaning supplies or something where there's like a limited supply that isn't really connected to how frequently you could have it. I'm going to say each, I'm going to say, okay, so I bought like 5 of them, right? And so this each here, you can put a label. It's optional. If you put a label, it'll put it in the interface, but if you don't, it'll just say like one of the thing. Not to say one, like the number remaining. So that's how I'll actually, well, so I'll do this. What's this? So it says like there are 5 each remaining, which is not good. So I'm just going to put, I'm going to remove that label. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes not. There are 5 remaining. So I can, what I can do here on the page, on the actual task view, I can click how many I want to use or add and say I want to have 1. And then I want to say use. But then, and then when this is all done, it will mark itself as complete and it will stop showing. But then you have to come in through the task, which I can show you that in a second. So if I say I went to the store and I bought 2 more, then I added 2, so now I'm up to 6 remaining. But say I have a brunch and I use them all up, then the task I just consumed 6, a lot of mangoes. Then I can so this now says the task is completed, and if I go to active task, it won't be there, but it's completed, and this is completed now forever. But if I go in and if I say I bought 3 more, I go add, it'll set itself as not completed again. So it does a little bit of logic there. You can toggle it complete if you feel like it. And then I don't, wait, that shouldn't work like that. Oh, let me see here. Does that work? I should be able to just, there we go. Oh, okay, that's a glitch. That set active button should always appear. Oh, another one. Okay, there we go. That's a little interface glitch there, but Like I said, lots of interface glitches, but it's mostly very cool. And so it was that way. And then if you were in a list, so like if in here you can see use instead of did it, so it's like did it, use, and then done does the same, like basically marks them all completed. If I go in the food list, then I can say, oh, I used it and I clicked it, and it went down to 2, I believe. So if I do it again, it goes down to 1, and then it's already done. So then it's completed. So you can do that sort of thing. One last part of a task. Well, I guess 2, because I can mark that I have done it. So like I came in from touching grass. My boss tells me, not for this, but for my day job, that I have bad test data when I type in the names of things, and he's very correct. So I can say that I've done this. So if I just did it now, that's cool. Again, and that would, by hitting did it there or did it on the list view, that would impact it. And if this was not a it can be done as many times as you like, it would possibly be set as complete just based on the criteria. But so if you said I did it, I don't know, let's say I did it yesterday because I forgot to hit that I've done it, I can click the time button, which is just in case you say it all now, and then I can say actually I did it yesterday, or you click the little. This will look different depending on your interface or the browser you're using. So if I said actually I did on the 29th, then I hit did it. Oh, I hit OK, and then I did it, and so it's showing in 2 days ago. And then one other, this new elements, this element thing, I don't like the naming for it, but it's cool because if I go in here and I'm going to put like I'm going to show you how I use it for like play board games. I have it set up like this in my the family fun night thing. I'm going to put this as like, what is this? Family labs activity. And I have it, where I have it? Play board game. So what I have here is that this could be a list of whatever. So you could have an element and then the quantity. You don't have to use the quantity, but it's showing up anyway. So what I'm using for my the game night is like life, etc. Monopoly, etc. That sort of thing. Also for food. So if this was instead of, well, I will create another one, and I will say, so I have it for food tracking as well. So what I use it for is, fridge stuff, cupboard stuff, but there's like a lot of multiples of things. So like, sauces, condiments. So I don't want to have a list that is like 20 items long of hot sauces, so I would put that in, and I could say it's hot sauces. Or let's just say condiments actually, because I don't remember the names of the flavors that we have. I'll say condiments. And then we can say here, I would say, like ketchup, and then we have like a bottle, I guess, or serving, or whatever you want that to be. I might put like a type or a label or something there eventually. And then, mustard. That should be 1. I don't have that editable right now, so because I just put this in like the other day, so I don't really know. But like mustard and let's just relish, and then we have like 2 relish, 2 units of relish or whatever. I will have to make this incrementable, but it's not there yet. And then that way, when it shows up, the condiments here, right here, it says ketchup, mustard. Oops, I clicked into it. That was not an error. Ketchup, mustard, and relish. But then for the games, it would, in the email notifications you set up with the reminders, it would set out, it would have all of those. And what I'll probably do eventually is make an option for this to show just one of them or some of them. So if you get a reminder on condiments, it highlights one, but it doesn't currently do that. And yeah, so that is 25 minutes of awesome task related stuff. I'm going to do, I don't know, list next, but this is just, again, placeholder content, and eventually it won't look so plain. But hopefully this makes sense, and hopefully this seems still interesting if you signed up and you're using this to sort of get your bearings. let me know if you have any questions. And if you're watching this and you don't have an account and it seems cool, I can get you a registration key. Just send an email to brian@goodbadgers.com. You can do that also with your questions and comments. And I'll see you in the, I guess, the list. How do you use the list feature in depth, me rambling forever video.